Today we are doing Christmas crafts. I really wanted to do a Christmas in July video, and I just barely made it. If you're new here, my name is Carolyn, and this is Craft Classy. Let's get to crafting. I have some of this muslin fabric here that I got from Walmart, and I'm going to cut it into strips. I'm also going to be using this chipboard here, which is just a thin cardboard, about the thickness of a cereal box, and I'll need a wood round as well. They do sell wood rounds at Dollar Tree and Walmart, but I got this one. It's an unfinished coaster. I'm cutting some circles, small circles, out of this chipboard here, and I'm going to be making essentially fabric flowers. I'm sure you've seen this type of flower made before. You just make a base out of cardboard or fabric or just whatever you want to use. You could use plastic, just whatever you want. And you're going to fasten the fabric strip in the center of your circle and then twirl it around itself.
Way up above mid the ice and snow, where the eyes of no one may see, with my dear little men and my wonderful shop lives old Santa Claus that me.
Some of these strips of fabric were more frayed than others, and I just tried to trim them up to make them somewhat match each other. I have a half bead here, and this is going to be Santa's nose, and I glued it into the center of the wood round. These little fabric rosettes are going to be his beard. I made different sizes so that I was able to fill in the gaps better, but some of the gaps I just went ahead and layered a second layer on top of that base layer. I thought it looked fine. It just looked like, a variation in the curls in his beard.
I'm building my toys for girls and boys, a labor of love is mine, and I'm more than repaid for visits I've made when children's eyes dance and shine. As time rolls along with a merry old song, at work I am always found, for I'm busy each day in a wonderful way, but when Christmas time comes round, then away I go over the ice and snow to finish my trip before the day is dawning.
And I also did one on each side, a little bit higher to represent his sideburns. I'm not very good at drawing, so I just went for simple oval eyes, and I'm going to paint those truffle.
Carry my pretty toys for all the girls and boys to make them gay and happy Christmas.
You could make this an ornament of just Santa's head, but I wanted to give him a torso as well. So I'm using this wooden tag from Walmart for his body. I painted it in the color True Burgundy by FolkArt, and it took a couple of coats. I'm using this striped fabric that I got from Walmart for the hat. I'm doing this no-sew, so I'm just going to cut 2 of the same triangles and then glue the edges and then turn that inside out.
With my little red nose and my pretty red clothes and my hair just as white as the snow, when my trip I begin, at each home I drop in.
I checked the fit, and then it was a little bit big, so I just cut off some of the bottom to make it just a little bit smaller where it was going to go on his head.
There's a welcome awaiting, I know, so I'm just 3 feet high and 4 feet around, and you're wondering.
I used some of the scrap fabric as a filler for the hat, but I didn't want it to be too full. I didn't want it to stand up. I wanted it to flop forward.
How I can do it, They never have built a chimney so small that I couldn't get down through it. And I know where each little stocking is hung. The owner of it I can name. And
I did fold it once forward and then use some hot glue to secure it. I wanted to give him a little bit of a mustache to go under his nose, and so I just took a couple of shorter pieces of the strips of fabric and then tied that with some thread and glued that underneath his nose.
whether it's new or whether it's worn, I fill it up just the same. When away I go over the ice and snow to finish my trip before the day is dawning, I'll carry my pretty toys.
I saw this style of beard, of Santa beard, on Pinterest, and I thought it was really cute, and so I wanted to give it a try and put my own spin on it. I took short pieces of these strips of fabric and I folded them in half just so it would double it up and it wouldn't take as long to make the sort of fur around the bottom of his hat. And so I just hot glued those, directly to his hat there, making sure to fill in any empty spaces.
For all the girls and boys, to make them gay and happy Christmas morning. I'll carry my...
I did the same technique on the tip of his hat, on the top, just to repeat that and make it all match. You could also glue a bell to the tip of his hat. That would be really cute.
Pretty toys for all the girls and boys to make them gay and happy Christmas morning.
I used wood glue to glue his head to his body. I really like this true burgundy color. I usually take crimson by Waverly and then add a little bit of the brown to warm the red up. But I saw this color, I saw another crafter use this color. I believe it was Brenda on Rustic and Lace. She used this red and I really liked it, and I thought, well, that's what the red looks like when I mix crimson and truffle together. And so it is acrylic, so it takes more coats, but I love this color. Using a ruler, I made a few marks going down the front of him to find the center. I'm just making the trim on his jacket match his hat.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way, bells on bobtail ring.
I dug around in my stash, my crafting stash, and found something that would work as a belt buckle. I got this off of an old purse, so if you're ever throwing away a purse, if it messes up, cut off the metal, the metal pieces on it. You can use those for crafting.
Making spirits bright, what fun it is to...
You could also use the book rings that you can find at Dollar Tree as a belt buckle as well. I'm using some wire and I'm wrapping that vertically around the belt buckle so that the fabric can go, under and over so that it looks, and acts like a real belt buckle.
Jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bell, jingle all.
I just attached that to Santa in the back with some hot glue.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
I wanted to add just a little bit of rusticness to his belt, and so I'm going to use some twine, 2 rows of it, and tie that in the back. And I wanted to add a little bit something extra, so I took this twine and removed a few strands of it to make it thinner. And I'm going to tie this little key to his belt. And then I'm going to make him a little keychain out of these stars and this bell. I just strung those onto a piece of twine. I just love this Santa so much, and he was so fun to make.
A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Fanny Bright was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lank, misfortune was his lot. He got into a drifted bank, and we did get upset. Jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. That way you don't miss any future videos. Those are free ways to help my channel out, and I greatly appreciate it. You can also find me on Instagram and Pinterest. This craft includes a free printable, and that will be in the description box of this video. As a link, you just click on it and print it. And this is 2 different sizes of these stars here. And I'm going to cut these out. I printed them on regular printer paper, and I'm going to trace around them onto this chipboard. You could also use a cereal box. It's definitely better to show you than to explain. It's a little difficult to explain, but you're going to fold the smaller pieces and then cut a slit about halfway up, and then you'll slip that over one of the points on the star. Just making 2 different directions of points on the star. You can glue them if you want, but I found that it was very sturdy and held up well. They weren't going to fall apart or anything, especially since I'm giving them a good coat of cinnamon. The way I do it is just using spray adhesive. I'm using this Gorilla spray adhesive, and I'm going to do this multiple times. You could finish these in so many different ways using different materials. You could even print a Christmas pattern on cardstock and not even have to do the cinnamon. Once I thought they looked good, I went ahead and sealed in the cinnamon with a clear coat. I punched a hole into each one to hang them. And I just used some twine, but you could certainly use an ornament hook. I got these white birthday candles from Walmart. They were $1.87 for this pack of them. I liked these because they weren't spiraled. I like spiraled candles pretty good, but for this project, I just wanted straight edges on the candles. And I'm also using these 2-inch flower pots that I got ages ago at Dollar Tree and never did anything with them. I'm also showing you here that you can find mini battery candles, and those would work well because you probably wouldn't want to burn these birthday candles in this project because they would disappear so quickly. I painted these candles with Toasted Marshmallow by Apple Barrel. I started out with antique parchment, but I thought it was a little too light. These candles had glitter on them or in them, and so it made for a nice texture once I painted them. The internet said that it was fine to paint candles with acrylic paint, so I think it would be fine if you did burn these, but I won't be burning them. I took some pieces of some dowel rod just as a riser to raise these candles up. And I'm using some hot glue to attach the candles to the dowels, and it actually held very well. I was worried about the candles being wax, and them staying in place, but they held very nicely. I was going to leave the little pots alone, but I decided I wanted them to be a little bit darker, so I stained them with some antique wax. I went out into my yard and got some trimmings from a cedar tree, but you could use faux florals or whatever you like. And you could make a little wreath to place around the candle. That would be very pretty. I think that would be prettier than the way I did it, but this is how I did it, and they turned out very nice. I wanted to add some little red berries, and all my Christmas crafting things are up in my attic still. So I just looked around and found these little beads from the Dollar Tree. They don't have a hole in them, so I don't know why they would be called beads. But these little pearls, they worked nicely, and I just painted them with that same true burgundy red. These turned out so cute. That would be great on a tiered tray. I also thought, wouldn't it be cute to make some larger ones with full-size candles for your main table at Christmas, and then for the kids' table, make it matching and have the kids' table match the adult table, and have bigger pots on the adult table and then these mini ones on the kids' table. I think that would be really cute. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you ever have any questions, I know sometimes these videos go by quickly, just drop, me a question down in the comments, and I will get back to you on anything you might want to know in case I didn't explain anything well, or you want to know anything about the items that I'm using. In the description box, I always have the links to the tools that I usually use, like my Crocodile Big Bite, and my miter shears that I use. Goodness, almost every video. I use them often. But I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one.